Good afternoon, football fans. Welcome to Fantasy Football 2010. I'm your commissioner, Daniel Faulkner, and I'd like to welcome you to my league, the 12 Angry Men. I know our draft is still yet 2 weeks away and 1 day and a few hours, not that I'm counting down the minutes. But I want to take this time to introduce the league to everyone. We have 3 new players along with 9 returners. So, if you would bear with me, I'd like to go through the list and say a few words about each one. I hope you enjoy. Starting at the top of our league homepage, Chazzy's Chalupas, my good friend Charles. Charles is a super competitor. He likes to win at everything he does, and he's a super guy. He's intelligent. He'll come up with some witty posts. I met Charles in Bowling Green, bar hopping and whatnot, and he likes to sell liquor for a living. So we'll see some good stuff from him, I guarantee it. Next on the list, the Beast. This is a newbie to the league, Jeremy. He works just 1 cube away, just over there. He was responsible for designing our shirts from last year. That's right, folks. We get shirts. We have a nice little design here with an angry football. And on the back is a list of the teams, how they finished. In case you're wondering, I'm at the top of the list as I won last year. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But Jeremy is I don't know how he is in football, but he runs his own league and he makes his own settings and he does well. But I don't know how his competition is, so I don't know how he'll fare this year. He is the youngest in the league, I believe, so feel free to lash out at him. Next on the list, Suck My Ditka. I don't think you can say that without smiling. My dear brother, he has been a fantasy warrior for years. I think he has 3 or 4 fantasy football teams a year, 2 or 3 baseball, maybe a NASCAR, who knows. But he's all over the fantasy world. He's known for his micromanaging, especially in baseball, but in football, one little incident 2 years ago in our league's first championship, he had a debacle on his hand. He had Matt Castle, who was doing well because Tom Brady was hurt, and his backup was Dan Orlovsky of the Detroit Lions. Some say that was a no-brainer to pick Castle, but he checked the weather reports in New England, and it looked like a snowstorm, so he sat Castle and played Orlovsky. Castle went on to throw for 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. Orlovsky, I think, barely broke the century mark in yards and maybe 2 interceptions. Needless to say, he lost to his good buddy Mike Harrell, who I'll introduce shortly. He'll also complain a little bit in the message board about his team's performance, but you'll see that later on. Good to have you, bro. Next on the list, Freebirds. Good friend Jared. I've known this kid since we were little, and mainly since middle school basketball. I was in his wedding, actually, along with a few other of these guys. Jared, I like to call him the silent assassin. He doesn't say much, but he always puts his best team on the field. And last year, he pretty much waltzed through the league. No troubles until he ran into the Swarm in the playoffs, which the Swarm upset him. It was a miracle. The 6 seed or the 8 seed or whatever it was beat the 1 seed. Truly a miracle. But he will again put his best team on the league, and he's constantly checking out the free agent pool. Next on the list, Perfect DNA. What? What does that mean? What are you doing? Mike Harrell. Mike tries to play that he's too cool for fantasy sometimes, but last year, and he is the first season, the inaugural season, he was the champion. But last year he I'll say he got screwed by Yahoo. They made a stat error, and I think it was Wednesday. He won the first round over Ditka by like 1 point, but apparently Yahoo got the points wrong, and they deducted 2 points from his total score, which caused him to lose. I talked to him that night, and I was trying to calm him down, and he said he was ready to punch through a wall. So if he tries to be too cool for fantasy football, just know it's not true. He loves it. Next on the list is Kale. We're all anxiously waiting to see what your nickname will be. Another newbie. Kale, I believe he runs his own league in where he works at Granger. And I know he's a competitor. He's played church league softball with me, and I've known him for years. And he's been kicked out of several church league games. And so I know he's super competitive, He knows the sport. I'm looking forward to see how he does this year. Next on the list, Shamrockers. I met this guy in Atlanta, Georgia, working at Turner Broadcast. I was doing an install down there, and we got to talking about old men's baseball. Now, I don't know how old he is. He could be 38, 42, 60. Who knows? But he plays baseball. He's a pretty good guy. And I invited him this year because we needed another guy. And one night we were having dinner at the local pub, and he was distracted because he had two guys playing that he needed to make a comeback in his other league. So I knew that there was an ultra competitor in Tim Walsh from Atlanta. So we're looking forward to seeing that this year. Next on the list, Marcus Ross. Your nickname is Baratwars. I don't really know what that means. I'm looking forward to the explanation. But he is quite the competitor. He probably is known as the villain to most, as he talks a lot of trash on the message boards, which I love. I defeated him in the finals last year, so he usually puts together a good squad and has some pretty witty things to say. So it should be fun. He keeps it pretty heavy. Next on the list, the Swarm. The Swarm works just one cubicle away. He has the privilege of working next to me. I have several other nicknames for him, but we won't get into that now. The Swarm is known for just constantly filling up the message board with comments, and they're quite funny, I will add. He complains a lot about drafting last, which he will not this year. But I thought 3 years ago he went undefeated, and him and I jointly got locked out of a different league that I wasn't commissioner of. So I decided to, hence me making this league 3 years ago. So that'll be fun. Next on the league, Dirty Dirty. He's kind of quiet. He has a couple leagues that he runs. He coaches football at Western, Jamie DeBerry. He knows his football. He usually keeps up with his lineup. And if he starts trailing off this year, I might have to throw a few warnings, and he may not make it next year, because I know there's a long list of people wanting to get in this league, especially now that we have video. So ultra competitor. It's going to be a good year, big guy. 11th on the list, Cincy FU. Bill Charles, another guy I work with in Cincinnati. He's a big Bengals fan, which usually hits his downfall. Last year he put up a lot of points, but he could never quite get the victories. I think he missed the playoffs last year, barely, but he had more points than most of the teams in the playoffs. Tough luck? I don't know. 2 years ago he was we got all over him for dropping a big receiver. So let's not make any bonehead mistakes this year, big guy. And last, but definitely not least, the favorite. That's me, your commissioner, your hero, your defending champion. I will constantly be on this. I will be posting things. I will be updating web videos each week. I'll have some props as well to go along with my videos, so it should be interesting. But I do feel like I'm going to defend my crown. I think I can get my nephew to draft for me and still beat you clowns. Anyways, that's the league. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm sure you're going to enjoy my videos. Feel free to pass the YouTube address on to anybody who would be interested, as I'll keep it clean, so it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably post another video next week just because I may not have anything else to do. Anyways, enjoy, and as always, love your favorite commissioner.